sign to speak? Okay, up here.
Okay. Yeah. First we're staying okay.
Okay, Mr. Doyle.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, my name is John Doyle, and I live in Stockdale. And let me open by saying explicitly that I do not want data centers, natural gas power plants, or utility-scale solar farms in Wilson County. Not because I'm against AI, I use it every day, or anti-data center in principle, but because I care about the future of my people and can't trust these developers to do the right thing. Our wells are already going dry due to a drought so extreme that it would be drought of record if we had received 13% higher rainfall than average 4 years ago. Out of sheer serendipity, the day I discovered my gurgling, depleted well was the same day that I learned of the data center and found the developer bragging on their website about the millions of gallons of water they were permitted daily. Is that the Chinese psyop I keep hearing about? The dramatically intensified public opposition as of late is the organic immune response of the normal people whose interests have been ignored and steamrolled by these developers. And yet, instead of responding in good faith and choosing principles of good stewardship, they choose weasel words and deception. They claim near zero water use as they quietly prioritize properties with existing high output wells, obtain permits for thousands of acre feet of water annually, and select combined cycle gas turbine power plants to meet their demand, which consume millions of gallons per day in bog standard configurations. They tout their use of unpotable brine, knowing full well that the consuming the brackish water will draw down the intrinsically connected potable water down with it. They cynically refer to their closed-loop cooling systems, knowing that the public is ignorant of the vast consumption of adiabatic cooling systems that use to pre-cool the air flowing over the heat exchangers of the data center's closed-loop cooling systems. If we were talking about a single data center or power plant, the effect on the Carrizo would be negligible. However, our local developments are not isolated examples, and the cumulative impact of hundreds of data centers and power plants alongside the chip plants and exploding metro populations represents an existential threat to our agricultural community. Even if you remain unconcerned about the water use, I find it very difficult to believe that you've forgotten how big tech treated our people just a few short years ago. These companies see us as Luddites and troglodytes and colluded to silence our voices and steamroll our concerns on behalf of an overbearing federal government and to enforce progressive Silicon Valley sensibilities. Now they track our every move, thought, and action at all times via our phones and flock cameras. As such, allowing Big Brother to build their billion-dollar projects here is tantamount to handing over our community, our local political control, and our future to their whims. Wilson County isn't just an economic zone full of unrealized data center developments, it's our home and it's our inheritance. If we sell out Wilson County to these developers and allow it to become an industrial dumping ground, our legacy will be that of Esau, except that instead of trading our birthright for a bowl of soup and fulfillment of prophecy, we'll be remembered as the leaders who traded our birthright to outsiders who hate us for a few pieces of silver. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Okay, first item, did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last meeting? Okay, emailed them out. So if you haven't, let me know, and we can wait a few minutes, but if you have, okay, we've got a motion from LH and a second from Lee. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Passed unanimously. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding the City of Stockdale, and this may not be the right word. I've heard it referred to as a resolution, so I kept thinking it was a resolution, but I'm not sure that that's what the city is considering. It's just basically the services agreement pertaining to the administrator's petition. Everybody has a copy in front of them, and I'd just like for you to take a look at the first page, item A. And it says, Stockdale EDC Board shall have input on the process for selection and hiring of all SCDC employees for our concept. And it's just my feeling that this is our administrator, this is our body. I think that language is a little bit biased, and so for a services agreement to move forward, in my perspective, the language should be something more than input. Perhaps the city, perhaps the EDC should afford the city some input. Is the perspective I would see, because if you look at the bylaws, it says that we may engage the city for these administrative services not we have to engage the city. So I just think it should remain a type of language where we're inviting the city to have input on our authority. Go ahead, Alex.
SEDC, when we set it up, the city council, only the city council, we brought everything through to them. The city manager is an employee of the city.
Correct.
He's not an elected official.
Correct.
All of us are serving under the commission of the city. When we set it up, we tried to get it where it would have no influence from the city because we were investing money for them to make them money. And if they started in our business, I don't think we can do it.
So the bylaws actually read that all positions are appointed by city council.
I disagree with that. It says that
That's what your bylaws say.
it says that we may, yes, if we decide to use the city
All
employees,
positions, any
if we
positions
decide,
have to be approved by council.
okay,
It's just like the last time. y'all-
Administrator.
The city tried to mess with this board, and they tried to move the legal limit from 5
And they-
to 7.
And they can do
And
that.
that was on the city managers. That wasn't us. That was illegal. You can't, what you set
So
up, yes.
your charter also reads that it can be changed by city council at any time, just with one vote.
and you guys can get rid of all of
This thing was
us
set
at
up
any
by
point in time.
population.
We realize that we serve at the
We
pleasure of
don't
the
serve
city,
it, it's the council.
at the pleasure of the
The
city,
council.
correct? And all I'm stating is that the language, starting off with number 1, is it affords control to the city, whereby the control should remain with the body, and the city is welcome to have input. When we decide on a few candidates, they'd be sent over to the city council for approval.
Yeah, even there though, and that's fine. I mean, even if y'all make, these are the candidates, and you send them to the council can say yes or no, and then.
Of course they can.
And then they can say, no, we want this person over here.
And so to do that, they would have to get an EDC approval on that candidate.
Well, if you read over your bylaws.
Okay, then they can replace us all, because we're not here to carry out the city's desires. We're here for economic development purposes, not to be intermingled with city projects, city initiatives. They should be married hand in hand. And the purpose of the board is to carry out the city's vision for the future. That's why, for the first time in this history of Stockdale, we had a joint meeting whereby we went through several hours of a workshop to try to, establish some shared goals for the community. But this particular services agreement puts the city in a position whereby we're neutered and, in our opinion, rendered pretty useless. Now, we have every right to reject this, which, if it comes to calling for a vote, we absolutely would. I had more points to make about this services agreement because there's additional items that we find completely
What is your
inappropriate.
date on the service
I
contract?
don't have one in front of me.
You have a copy of what date it was?
That this,
Went to y'all's board in, what was it, April?
maybe, we didn't have a meeting since March, so that's probably about when it hit the streets, when you had your city council meeting.
I think it hit ours April then, because it got tabled the first time. So,
And,
it's in May.
so Stephen, we appreciate your input. I'd like to, as a board, come to some sort of agreement on, it's not up to J.C. Rubis. It's up to this board. And, I've had full assurances from our mayor that there's explicit and full confidence in this board's judgment. So I'd like their judgment on this particular document, if that's okay. The second item, B, it talks about performance evaluations. Myself and the board members probably shouldn't be expected to live in town and follow around our administrator. whereby the day-to-day activities of that administrator may be more observable by city council members and the city manager. So I don't mind that being a 50-50 type committee, because I think all these decisions, if we're gonna cede some power over to the city for administrative decision-making, I think we have to do it in a way that this board is comfortable with. So I'm okay sharing the assessment of work product by the administrator. I'm just gonna give you all my opinions, and then y'all can say I agree all, don't agree. Termination, again, input on termination. I would like to hear from you guys what you think about the power to terminate the EDC administrator. Naturally, if they, don't follow city employment rules and guidelines, the city can terminate them without our input, because they fought.
I agree with you, but I also agree that no one can be terminated. An illegal meeting, you have to have a quorum.
I agree.
You have to have a quorum of city members and a city secretary. If you do, it's violation of state law. Anytime you meet with one of your councilmen, that is a meeting.
There's not a quorum.
It's a meeting. It is a meeting. You better look up at it.
It's not an illegal
It is a
meeting
meeting.
unless there's a quorum.
And the thing is, you cannot discuss. You're supposed to do it in a business manner. You have the rules you have to follow. And you cannot contact 1, 2, 3 councilmen and get their agreement on the phone without it. You got to have it's called an open meeting act.
I don't do that. I can tell you right now, I don't do that.
I'm sorry to say you do.
Well, that's outside of the purview of this board. So on termination, I don't know exactly the best balance of power there on terminating. The power lies with the city regardless, because if the board, say, had say in keeping that person long and the city was adamant about getting rid of them, they can just replace us with people who will get rid of them. And, then that, reflects on the city's opinion of our board, and we can act accordingly. And I don't know that we need to go through every item and decide how the balance of power goes. I just think that the language is affording the city 100% of the control, and I don't see a purpose for my personal time and effort in spending it here if all these decisions are to be made next door.
No, there's gotta be some checks and balances both ways, to make
Sure.
it beneficial for everybody.
Can it read SCDC board and city council shall have input?
Yes. Shall have equal input.
I don't know how many times we've invited the city council to come to our meeting. We go to their meeting. They require us to go.
Well, they send their representative in the form of the city manager, and they have been for a while. And we can go on item by item, but I don't really think it's necessary. I think it suffices to say that there's a lot of stuff in here that kind of lends more power to the city, and I would like to see a services agreement that the board retains the power of decision-making. We have a clear understanding that we all serve at the city's pleasure. They don't like what the board is doing, they're welcome to replace us. And if that's not an agreement that's amenable to them, then I think that tells us exactly what they think of us right now. I do think, as Stephen, when you get to page 10, item 10, there are just a multitude of statements where I don't know who they're talking about. Be it the city, be it the executive
I
director.
don't have one in front
Oh,
of
I'm sorry.
Here, would you like one?
Here you go.
me. And you said item 10?
Starting with item 10. it needs to be crystal clear. It says maintains SED activities in accordance with same state mandatory provide, it doesn't tell me who's doing this. Because,
That would be the EDC
okay,
director.
it needs to say, it.
Okay.
We just need to get that edited to
And will that be
reflect
paper
that.
or electronic? I mean, it needs to be specific because there's so many
This
options.
is, like I said, identical, our lawyer is the same lawyer for Floresville, so this is basically the same.
But we've seen what's happened in Floresville, and we are not gonna be in Floresville.
What's the, I guess that's my concern about that, because, you know, are we able to go get, pay the cost to us to have our own attorney review this?
Yes, we absolutely can.
That's a conflict of interest to both be using the same attorney, because whoever calls the most is gonna have the most favorable documentation in the deal.
And since we're on the topic, let me just share with you guys that the current plan is to talk about some of the contents of this with the mayor and that city attorney. Get a document that I've agreed represents the feelings and sentiments of our board, then bring it back to you guys to review, make sure you like it. And if we do like it, then we move forward with a nifty services agreement and we continue kicking butt here in Stockdale.
I like number 3 under B, both the SEDC and the city agree.
Yeah,
It's a mutual.
I think that's more of the spirit that I'm looking for in a legal document between us and the city. And then, you know, there's a thing here on page 4, backdating the agreement to October 1, 2024, and I absolutely, positively am in full disagreement with any backdating of any agreement, because if something's been done outside of the bylaws or rules, we're not given any exceptions to any previous city councils or any other. So basically, my point is, this has been approved by the city. I know there was some intention to have some of the officers of the EDC board to agree to this. I, in the past, have agreed to services agreements that were going to enrich or enhance the benefits for Jennifer in an effort to retain her, which unfortunately did not work. But we're happy for you, Jen. We know you're in a better place. Bigger field to play on for sure. The whole county gets the benefit from your tenacity, so that's awesome. But Stephen, is the city council have the impression that we have accepted this agreement?
So it was at the last meeting of y'all's. That was the discussion over the bringing on as an employee was through the agreement.
So, because I hadn't seen this document when we had that meeting, and I don't think, did anybody see this document prior to that meeting? It's a service agreement between the city and
Or I don't know.
Nobody signed anything.
No, nobody signed it because it can't be signed because it's not approved until your board has to approve it first.
You're
Then it
saying
has
no
to-
one
I
signed
think we need
it?
to back up a little bit and give a few reasons.
You're
why
saying
we
no one
started.
signed it?
No,
So I think
I'm
there's not
saying
communication.
nobody signed it at your meeting
get what I'm
because
saying?
it
No,
was
you
not.
said no one signed it.
No
Then it
one
was-
signed it
yeah,
after
you
your
did.
meeting.
It wasn't a whole.
We have
When
that
did
number
you did
No, it wasn't that signed.
after my board approved it.
So, you know, it all kind of spurred, we had originally agreed and moved as a board and agreed to bring Jennifer on as a city employee. We were not aware of the approach that the city would employ, nor were we in agreement with that being the proper approach, but it wasn't done right. And that's what prompted, I guess, this, because we were trying to get things. And thank you for that, Steve. We're trying to get things right, whereby the person is a city employee, they do have the full benefits of a city employee, and that kind of gave birth to this more detailed agreement. It's just that the contents of it weren't what we were expecting. And so, you know, we want something that we feel comfortable serving going forward with. And I think we can get there.
There again, like I said, the best way would be for you and the mayor to sit down and hash those changes out.
Already got that in the works.
And then it'll have to come to your board and be approved, and then my board and be approved, and then it gets signed.
Perfect.
Just like, so.
Then,
Let me give you a little bit of like, since Jennifer has taken over in a very short time, of about 6 years, we went from one sale of property in the SEDC. And the sale of the original property was up there in the top. ICB. It was not recruited here by any of the old SEDC board. It was by the city. I know, I was on the city council, I went to San Antonio, met with the people that brought them down here, and we got that agreement, and they moved over here. Since then, right now, a total of 11 and possibly 13 different businesses have been generated by this board, which we thought we were doing a service to our community. And then we get a document like this that takes, to me, it's a slap in the face. It's total, and you want to backdate something? That is against the law.
That was handed out. Y'all talked about it.
I didn't talk about it.
It's in your minute. That you just approved.
the concept of enriching the city employment, when we found out that you're paying her on a 1099 as a city employee, we certainly revisited the topic. We had been operating under the assumption that Jennifer was a full city employee with health benefits. That the city decided to pay her as a contract worker and not a city employee. It was inappropriate wholly, but that forced us to revisit it, and that's apparently what gave birth to this. This document was not available at that last meeting. We didn't get to look at it.
I handed it out, that's all I know.
Pardon?
I handed it out.
Okay,
You did not hand it out to me.
would you as a responsible board member review a document in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes in the midst of a board meeting of this? So no, it wasn't given due consideration. So I'll tell you what, there's nothing to move on as far as this goes. We're gonna negotiate further. Alex, I'd like to hear more about what Jennifer's done, because that's the next item on our agenda, which is discussion and possible action regarding Jennifer Bear's departure from the Stockdale EDC. And
It's a major loss.
she's irreplaceable.
We come in and we took up the first mess she started with was a trucking company.
Challenge.
We
And then-
spent almost 2 years getting that stuff straight.
Going by there 3 times a week trying to get rent
All the
checks.
bankruptcy course, all this stuff. We generated about almost $750,000 profit
By the end of that,
by the end of it.
I don't know if it was quite that much, but it was a lot.
All of it was, if you look it up, it's pretty close. And then we sold to,
Reynolds Energy?
back.
And they've been
That's in the very back.
ICP.
And then ICP, we had that road out. And then the trucking company, which was the mechanics out of Mexico. And then the seed company. And then we built one down there with Justin is on the highway 123.
I know. And instead of paying to haul umpteen yards of dirt away, we use it to level some of our properties. We shave down properties to make them marketable. We used dirt from, instead of buying dirt, we dug a great big pond, invested in our community, turned it into a wonderful destination that people are visiting from all kinds of surroundings. 100% Jen Beard initiative. And so again, there's no replacing that. There's no replacing that passion, the institutional knowledge.
You could go on forever. It's not,
I could.
It's not what we created, it's what we created for the city. People that haven't worked here, they've only been here a very short time, they don't realize we pay for most of the street lights. We pay for Bryce Park. We built a concession stand. we go to bathrooms and the other end. And we've done this through generosity from the SEDC board to try to support the city.
Indeed.
And I thought we were doing a very good job.
I thought we'd done more than to deserve that.
Yes.
That's all. But we'll move past that and we'll find a happy place for the city and EDC to reside, or, you know, they'll have a new EDC. And that's completely their prerogative. I, wanted to name the pond Jenberry Pond. We've given that to the city. I don't know if that's workable. I'm going to talk to the mayor about it, but I don't know any other way. No, we haven't quite finished remodeling.
That's not supposed to be fishy.
But isn't this already supposed to be Frank Banfield?
It is.
Oh, it says already up there? Okay. So we can't do that. We call it Frank and Jen's place.
Frank and Jen's place, there you go. I like that.
But I would like for the board to consider a way to appropriately recognize Jennifer. And I don't know if that's monetarily. I'm sure she wouldn't complain. Nobody complains about money. But I would like for us to consider that, give it some thought. We don't have to make a decision right here and now. If anyone has a idea or proposal, throw it out there and we can discuss it. But I think that you cannot say goodbye to Jennifer without making sure that her efforts are recognized.
Y'all are making me cry. She's a marketing guru. I do think y'all recognize me. I do. And I do it because I loved it. I still do love it. I'm not going anywhere. This may not be sitting here. And I'm always willing to come back to help in any way I can.
We're counting on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to continue on with the big, huge projects that I have going on, which is, what are they? The subdivision coming in. I'm going to finish that out. Medical center coming, 7,500 square foot building for specialists, hospice. Hopefully we'll have a pharmacy follow right behind it. I mean, those projects are going to stay with me, and I will work closely with Stephen to help get those to the finish line. So I don't want to leave those. Unless somebody kicks me out. That's possible.
All right. Well, next item on the agenda is related to a relationship with the larger Wilson County Economic Development Corporation. As you guys know, we don't currently have an administrator. We haven't even figured out how we go about hiring one. I think that we're going to find out real quick. We'll have another meeting very soon to look at the ultimate iteration of this for the board to consider. But in the interim, I think it's be useful to us to take a look at the Wilson County Economic Development Corporation sponsorships. The city of Poth has already joined with a full sponsorship. They formalized the agreement because they've never had a paid administrator with their WCEDC. With their EDC. And they formalized that agreement to lay out some expectations and so forth. We fully plan.
I'm sorry, can I, just because I know even on the website it's been updated, the tiers have been currently updated. So this is an older.
But this is what we're going to consider because this is what the other cities that have joined got to consider. So I'm sorry, but it's what's fair.
I think networking is the way of the world right now. It's a beautiful thing. That would
I
help
feel
us.
it's time for SEDC to go back like it used to be. We need to have our own legal counsel. And whoever's getting paid the most are going to go with them. We're the only ones paying them for proper results.
As a professional person, you'd think they would be better than that. However, we have our own separate this time
Well,
too, but we're going to pay for it.
You cannot deny that any attorney that's serving both the city and the EDC is working to get those two entities to get along. So the current city attorney, we're going to give him a chance to help us craft a document that we're all agreeable to. If I bring back a document to the next board meeting and you guys are not happy with it, then, I would guess that our next move would be to seek our own counsel. If you guys want to, we can seek our own counsel now. It's not a bad idea for us to have separate counsel. I don't think we're on the right agenda item to discuss this, but we will discuss it more before we're done here today, okay, Elijah? But anyway, on this WCEDC, Jennifer has a couple big projects that we're trying to wrap up. I think that we would be in a much better place to ask that board and their leader, Jason Talley, that Jennifer be permitted to dedicate the time and effort and resources to get these projects to the finish line. There's going to be a lot more to deal with Lennar, and there's going to be a lot more to deal with the expansion of Lennar's property holdings. And then, the medical facility is also a pretty big task. There's still work to be done on that grant, which will have to be managed throughout the process. I'm not suggesting that's the WCEDC's job to do that, but with her insights, she could probably coach our new administrator on how to handle that. At any rate, I was going to propose being a founding partner sponsorship with them. It puts us on level playing ground with POTH, and it speaks to our support of being a partner to the county as we face development from all kinds of interested parties. And I will, would love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on that.
I agree completely.
I agree. Been here my whole life, most of my whole life, born and raised here. We've gone from a one-horse town, literally, to shops on Main Street again. It's nice to have all these new businesses.
Yes.
There was a time, there was, H&H Western Wear, the coffee shop, and that was kind of it. The barber shop. But honestly, when you look back, 1970 to now,
We had 85 businesses in Stockdale in 1985.
there you go.
Wow.
The whole downtown, we did businesses, all of them.
LH, did you have an opinion on our participation with this?
Well, the main thing I say, if we're gonna have participation, we should do it legally. We should do it with their meeting and our meeting. There's two and three people meeting,
Now, I'm sorry, I don't know if you're looking at what I'm looking at.
This is what he's talking about.
your tiers or whatever. I think this is a great idea. It's the only way we're gonna get our project finished.
Well, then, does anyone want to make a motion? We have one motion to approve a $10,000 founding partner sponsorship with WC. Is there any further discussion about it? All in favor? Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. I've asked Stephen about some city-related, do they know any contractors or anything to get this finished? I know that you've talked to people in the past. I've got one guy, I don't know if anybody who's related to school or band or the Methodist Church knows Ernest Gonzalez. He's a contractor. I'm going to get a quote from him. If you guys know anybody who would take on that small of a job, please let me know.
Your company?
I can't right now. I got too
Yeah,
much stuff.
and I don't want it to be a favor.
Yeah.
We can, pay the market going price. That's fine. It just, we have
Mark Sanchez.
not had good luck getting.
I have Mark's,
You
quote, I'll
have
give
a
you-
quote from Mark.
so you can at least add that to
I'll
the.
get a quote from Ernest. I want one more quote
Yeah.
so that I can bring the quotes, throw them out there, and you guys decide what we're gonna do. At one time, we kind of chosen a building committee with yourself and Mr. Justin
Yeah.
West. He's not, anybody, do I have any volunteers to join Grant on the building committee? Okay, then we'll just do it as the whole board.
Yeah.
We'll get the 3 quotes, we'll all look at it.
Yeah, I don't mind helping.
It's
I still
probably-
don't mind helping doing it there, where we kind of started on that and then we ended up somewhere else, so.
Then, you know, if anybody has any suggestions or someone to quote it, you know, Stephen mentioned the West Brothers and also Sal. I don't know that they would take on, you know, and plus, at least Sal is working as the mayor. He is not gonna probably want to take a job from the SCDC.
He might have crews that subcontract out.
And that's a great idea. He would know subcontractors. That's-
Doing that in Livonia right now.
Okay.
One of my agents.
So let me just make a note of that, sales subcontractors, and I'll ask him about that.
Shop
It's-
local.
Yeah, I would prefer that.
Keep it local if you can.
Yeah, and same thing with Lynn Ray, he would have a subcontract.
He's working on my building right now.
Lynn Ray is, well, yeah, but your high dollar stuff.
No. No, I promise he's not. And as soon as he's done, he's just framing it for me, then he's headed to Rockford to start on the house.
He's gonna fish the rest of the summer.
No, I think it's another house, custom one. Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of give an update on that and let you guys know, we're gonna work to try and get that finished up, but, we're gonna have to, change our desired quarterly meeting to get things, back on the road again. So we'll probably meet within the next 30 days, and I'll be texting you guys about a date that'll work. So I'll have some quotes for that meeting. And then also on number 6, would love suggestions for potential EDC members. You know, if you have any people that, you know, get along and bring something to the table that we don't currently have, or shoot me a text. Because we're always looking. Stephen, do you hear anything from the community? Do they have people wanting to serve?
I have one person, but they live outside of Wilson County, so they live in Nixon.
Would any of you like to join the EDC in the efforts to make Stockdale better?
Why don't you tell us what the roles and responsibilities are for the position,
Well, you would attend board meetings,
which are
such as this.
held
They're,
weekly?
they're all held once a month. Well, actually, they're set up to be held quarterly, but as business activity dictates, we may meet more often than that. We hadn't been recently because a lot of projects are longer term and they're slow developing. But as you've seen in the meeting today, that we have some other business that needs to be tended to in a more expedient manner, so we'll be meeting again in a month.
How many seats are you looking?
Pardon?
Something 2 seats over?
Well, Donald is, you know.
Donald's being held, he's allowed to miss 2 meetings.
Right, right now is just recovering from.
Yeah.
Right. And he told me he was getting off. And I said, look, Donald, you got a lot on your plate, and you know you're facing your maker. And don't worry about the SEDC. You can miss a couple meetings, but you may be slowed down in a way that you're fidgety to do something because you can't check in the inventory and do all this stuff at your store. You may be looking for something to do. And I'd really appreciate if you just wait until you know, get past the surgery to make a decision about being on the board or not. So that board seat is not available. But we didn't fill Justin's. And what were we one shy?
We're one shot right then.
So we were one shy with Justin on the board. Justin, how many were we supposed to have? 7?
Seven.
Okay.
You have
So,
Mark.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Excuse me, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much of the time the board members, how much time do they spend going out looking for investment versus people coming to you on investment?
Well, that's our administrator's role. The board members all have jobs, and we're just kind of advisory
Yeah.
capacity and direct the administrator kind of in concert with what the city and EDC have decided what's important to pursue, but that's a full-time job.
So looking for a board member is not looking for somebody to go out and find,
But we would love a board member that had the bandwidth to go out and recruit, business owners to bring their operations to Stockdale. That'd be awesome. Most don't.
The main thing we want from a board member is, my opinion is something, but yours is also worth something. And you should put your opinion in at every meeting that you want to put in. It's not it's a board, it's a faculty, and that's why we work, and that's how you iron out little disappointments.
And I've been on the board for like 15, 16 years, something like that. LA's been on the same whole time. Jennifer was on it for most of that time. She was on it before I even got here. And that's the thing about this board and why it's worked very well is there's 100% consensus on everything we've done in as long as I've participated here. There's never been a single item where it was like 4-2. Not a single time. Because I think, in my opinion, is that we do things based on what the community needs, what's going to be helpful to the community, what can we look at our neighbors in the eyes and feel good about talking to them about. And if we can't, then it doesn't get past us. So.
We do the same thing when we're selling the property. We look at how much employment it's going to bring, how much tax base it's going to give the city. But the new one just opened up, the battery place, it's probably got 15 people employed.
And
they're
expanding.
getting money. And they spend a portion of it in Stockdale. For every $1 they spend, it circulates 7 times before it quits. And the thing is, that's what we looking for in business. It's not, we could have sold property up there for a storage building, but didn't pay anybody. There's no employment. We go for businesses that will generate revenue for our city is our main goal. And Jennifer's done a tremendous amount of money into this thing.
And that's
Tax
why,
base and otherwise.
that's why the Lenore subdivision is so important, because we have nowhere to house these people.
Teachers, firemen, EMS, we have
That's been a
13
problem
new
for
constables in
years.
Stockdale. They got nowhere to live.
No, that's always
so,
been a
yeah.
problem here.
Well, with that said, that's the last item on our agenda before executive session. So what time is it, Lori, on?
4:45.
It's 4:47, and I'm going to call the SEDC into executive session.